Level 82, How the Mighty Are Fallen. Licinia's inner turmoil is writ plain on her face. Sorry I'm still finding it hard to come to terms with all that's happened. Now that you're here, though, I'm hoping things might change for the better. You know, I've worked up quite a sweat from all that running about, so I'll leave space around the fire for the others. As you can tell, they're in a far worse state than me. We were planning to look for somewhere warmer with more food, but they're not going anywhere until we nurse them back to health, which I don't know how to do. Is there anything you can do to help them? I have those tinctures. I can treat their frostbite and their wounds, but it will take time for the fire to do its work. That would be a good occasion to make use of Minolane's tinctures, the ones that can warm the body from the inside out. Would you make sure everyone gets one? The numbness is beginning to subside, though I suspect once the fire dies, it will return with a vengeance. Warming tincture? I've never heard of such a thing. No harm in trying. Tell me, have you heard aught of the city? Though calling it seems absurd after what's happened, it's nothing but ruins now. Few buildings still standing offer no more than meager protection from the wind and snow. Food production, water purification, the magitech that sustained us has come to a grinding halt. But Machina that remains operational cannot be run for lack of ceruleum. Of course, Cerulia Engines is full of the stuff for all the good it does us. No one here knows the first thing about extraction or refinement. All is well, yes, never better. Oh, what sweet libation is this? Is it poison by any chance? Ha ha ha, 'twas a joke, ha 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 ha. If I laughed, 'tis that I may not weep, so said the poet, and alas, my tears would freeze on my cheek ere they fall. We are blessed damned, we are the blessed damned, to bear witness to the fall of the great empire, while our brethren lie dead or live on as puppets of flesh. First came the war, then came the roar, then morning came, Garlemald was no more. In a cacophony of gunfire, explosions, and screams was our beloved capital razed to the ground. The rubble rose the disheveled remnants, their lavish finery caked in ash as they shuffled mindlessly towards the palace, each bearing a fragment of stone or metal, an offering perhaps to the architect of our destruction. A hopeful few tried to reason with the deranged, only to be beaten for their kindness. But I knew better than to plead with the horde. I fled with my health, if not my conscience preserved. Now I wait with my fellow cowards for our final judgment. What do you want? A tincture. May as well drink it, I suppose. Like a radio? Yes, it's a radio. You don't have them where you come from, I take it? We use them to listen to messages sent by others, even over great distances. There are quite different types, but this model is by far the most popular, made with the quality components crafted with the finest ore, sourced from Locus Ominous it is. Not all that useful since the capital fell into ruin. The people at the broadcasting station must have either fled or ended up like all the others, because all we've been hearing is the same music being played over and over again. Home beyond the horizon, an ode to the brave men and women sent to reclaim our ancestral homeland of Locus Ominous. We may have founded an empire in these frozen wastes, but we always hope to take back what was once ours. It is a solemn reminder that though we must suffer great hardship, better days will surely come. Despite everything, I believe that Emperor Varus yet lives, and that he speaks to us through our radios. It was a cunning strategy faking his murder. He must have foreseen this catastrophe and chosen to conceal himself, that he may one day make his triumphant return. Yes, I'm sure of it. Emperor Varus would not be defeated so easily. What's that? So this is what you gave the others. Thank you. I'll save it for later. Actually, I have a few things to ask you. Are you part of the group staying in Latorum? Saw Legatus Vergilia's troops heading towards Magna Glacus a few days ago. Or are they the ones you encountered? Camp Broken Glass, you call it, and Vergilia and her men are all there now. How did you reach Magna Glacus? Did you cross the mountains on foot? Airships, then there might be a way to... Vicinia, where is everyone? Is something the matter? A voice from inside, you say? You must be imagining things. Everyone's out here. Perhaps a baby Almasty has found its way into the house. It wouldn't be the first time. Without the soldiers to scare them off, wild animals have been roaming closer to the settlement. Some have been known to attack people, too. I've just had an idea. If you and yours are strong enough to defeat a Legatus, then surely a few beasts shouldn't pose a threat. If you would mind to continue helping us, perhaps you could head to the other side of the lake. There's a small group of tappers living there, people whose job was to extract ceruleum. They still do, from what we can tell. I've already tried asking if they would share their fuel with us, but they're not willing to give it away. They want food in exchange, lots of food, and that's something we don't have and can't get on our own. On top of that, to even reach their den, we'd have to make our way past all those creatures. You'd be willing to go in our place? We only need enough ceruleum to last until the others are strong enough to travel to your camp. If the offer still stands, that is. Oh, and I don't expect you to give up your own supplies, but there might be another way to pay the tappers. If it's ceruleum you need, then ceruleum you shall have. Best watch out for baby Almasties while we're away. Yes, of course. If I see any, I'll be sure to shoo them away. To reach Tapper's Den, you'll have to cross the lake. The ice is thick enough to support a person's weight, but if you'd rather not take the risk, you'll need to take the long way around. Finding the entrance can be a bit tricky, too, so it's easier just to look for someone standing guard outside. However you decide to head there, please be careful. Can I not go pick up like Alpha Node and them first? Go out this way, huh? Julia engines. Early Tapper. Who goes there? How did you find us? What do you mean I stand out like a sore thumb? If the purebloods over at Victor Spoils hadn't given away our location, you'd never have found us. Stuck-up arseholes thought they could come waltzing in here demanding ceruleum with nothing to offer in return. Looks like the boot's on the other foot now the capital's gone to shite. But they've resorted to sending you to negotiate. I know your game, sell sword. If they think we'll give in to the intimidation, they've got another think coming. Consider me intimidated. There you are. Just after you left, Licinia asked me to go and catch up with you in case you needed a hand. Someone must have let slip that I have little experience in transporting barrels of ceruleum. So this is Tapper's Den. Well then, after you. Who are you? What happened to the guards? The Orzians and rebels here to save the people of Garlemald? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why in the hells would you pass up this chance to put those Imperial bastards to the sword? Let me guess, none of you are Garly and you were brought here from other lands. Kiribanya, Yangsha, Bozja, Dalmasca, to name but a few. Some dragged here against our will, others fed bollocks about a better life, all put to work extracting ceruleum. All given the esteemed title of An, placing us firmly on the bottom rung of the ladder. The old hierarchy means nothing in the new Garlemald, says we, about the only thing that's escaped more or less unscathed is cerulean engines, still sustaining us, even with our paymasters out of the picture. But we hear you're experts in drawing up ceruleum from the bottom of the lake, but how can you do that if it's frozen over? Wouldn't you like to know? Trade secrets, I'm afraid. At any rate, if it's not as if ceruleum is used for much these days. What with the city in ruins, we take enough to power our heaters and save the surplus for later, and though it helps stave off the cold, it does sort of all about our hunger unless we can trade it away. Speaking of which, be sure to tell your contingent we've got ceruleum by the barrel full. If they're interested, we'll exchange it for whatever provisions they're willing to spare. We can certainly ask, but if you're all free to go now, why carry on living here? Free to go? Go where? Even if we managed to get back to our homelands, there'd be nothing left for us, thanks to the Empire. And the knowledge and skills we acquired working here would be practically useless outside Garlemald. So we're staying for the time being. Long as there's a need for ceruleum, we'll find a way to get by, even if Garlemald, as we knew it, is gone for good. Gone for good. Regardless of what the Ilzabard contingent does for the people of Garlemald, the Empire itself is already a thing of the past. For many, that would be a cause for celebration, while for others, their whole way of life will have been turned upside down. After all the atrocities committed in the Empire's name, perhaps it is for the best that it is consigned to history. But what of the ordinary people, their lives, their stories? Should they be forgotten too? I suppose there'll be plenty of time to ponder that later. For now, let's see about getting some ceruleum. 82, How the Mighty Are Fallen. The end of the trail. Jarek is amenable to making a deal. So you've come seeking ceruleum, have you? What? Those purebloods up at Victor's Spoils sent you? Turn to their enemies for help. They must be more desperate than I thought. Then again, Licinia's got her little sister to think about. Sister, but we only saw Licinia and 3 men. Possible she died from whatever was ailing her. If she needed treatment, I doubt there'd be any way to get it around here. May have refused Licinia at first, thinking she'd come back with something to exchange, but I can spare them a bottle's worth of ceruleum. Consider a reward for introducing me to the rest of your contingent. Be sure to send them our way, you hear? I can't for the life of me think why Licinia would keep her sister a secret from us, but we can ask about that after we've delivered this ceruleum. Come on, let's hurry back. Scribbling rhyme. Another snowy area. This isn't right. It's too quiet. Would have thought Alphanol would still be treating them by the fire, but they're nowhere to be seen. I'll look inside the house while you search outside. They can't have gone far. Come out, wherever you are. They asked me to help carry supplies, but when I followed them back here, they attacked me. Caught me off guard, forced me to defend myself. I fear they fared rather worse than me. Can't fool us. We know what you're about. Vultures, that's what you are, waiting in the wings for us to show weakness, then in you swoop. Here to help, what rot. All a ploy to make us lower our guard. Let you in, put ourselves at your mercy, put us in chains, steal our lands, get your revenge. You're wrong, that's not what any of us want. Save the arguments for later, we've got bigger problems. Found empty medicine bottles and a bed that was still warm. True, Licinia was hiding her sick sister inside the house. But now there's no sign of either of them. Where are they? Where did they go? Away from you and yours, and if you think I'll tell you, you're a fool. I'd never give up my people. We're trying to help them, you idiot. Her sister's ill, the empty bottles prove it, so the medicine ran out or she put it in her pockets to make it easier to carry. Or to avoid the sound of clinking glass. There are beasts everywhere. How could you let them go alone? Protect them from you. You invade our homeland, taint it with the same sorcery used to slay our countrymen. A Garlean should sooner die than suffer the insult. Better for them to flee, keep their purity intact, than to be corrupted by your vile magics. We were waiting for a chance to free them since the moment you arrived. This is getting us nowhere. Cannot say how Licinia and her sister will react when we find them, but find them we must. Go on without me, both of you. I first need to tend to my injuries and theirs. I will join you in the search after. All right, be careful. Do our best to find them quickly. There's only one path out of here, so that's where we'll start. Two sets of fresh footprints. Young women, judging by the size. This is definitely them. Come on. They like to run away, don't they? Garlean cowards. Trail stops at the frozen lake. Perhaps they chose this route so as not to leave footprints. Can't think of any other reason. Look at this place. It's crawling with beasts, and I can only imagine how hard it must be for her ailing sister to cross the ice. We could really do with Alvinaud's help, but we can't afford to wait for him. Let's split up and look for clues. Large area to search. Empty bottle. Empty bottle smells faintly of alcohol. The thin coating of dirt indicates it has been here for some time and is unlikely to have any connection to Licinia or her sister. What does that have to be for something? See it. The draw distance on the little glowy marks. Where is the rope? You're a B rank. Could probably take it. Level 90 already. Wouldn't get anything for it right now. Fresh blood. Blood staining the snow appears to be fresh. Judging by the amount, the victim may have been severely wounded. Trail of blood leads southeastwards. A much smaller area to look at. There they are. Two bodies are already cold. They
Blood trail. We found one. They were attacked. No. Why wouldn't they?
Safer to brave the wilds than trust in our magic. We should have... I should have... We can't leave them like this. We have to take them home.
What if we're only making it worse?
Maybe we don't belong here. But neither did they. Not out here in the wind and the cold. I heard the story about Varus's voice from beyond the grave. Of course, I didn't believe it, but Licinia and her sister did. Perhaps there is something to the tale after all. I want to understand. So I'm going to borrow this for a while, if that's all right. You had every reason not to trust us. We came as trespassers, invaders. But I pray that in time, we will be more than that to you. That we will find a way to help your loved ones. And see that no more children are left to freeze alone in the snow.
There must have been something we could have done, but what? Should we have never come here? Would they still be alive if we hadn't? Level 82 at the end of the trail. I mean, they were going to starve to death, right? Level 82, a way forward. Alphanal's resolve may be shaken, but he has not forgotten his duty. Duty. We have already caused enough harm here. Let us return to the camp before we cause any more. As for those inside the house, we should send someone to take care of them. Someone who isn't us. All we can do for now is make our report to Lucia and do everything in our power to prevent further tragedy. Let us linger here no more. Come. Lizzie and Alphanal tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly, they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account?
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the Victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Popularis, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's Third Legion clashed with the First, who remained loyal to Varus even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varus's then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced. While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varus, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varus Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varus giving them orders in their dreams. May the Tower of Babel stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
Varus spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you.
Hurry.
A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Iulus Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
I'm going with you. What would your mother say if I let you 2 go by yourselves?
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
A couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. Safe return takes precedence above all else, remember this. Thancred in particular will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Are you and the children ready? I will explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. But expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Well, you could take me anyway. All right, this is far enough. Listen carefully. Head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Alizé and he's Alphinaud. And last but not least, there's Zilly. Where have I heard that before? No matter, Alphinaud and Alizé will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. Wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter. Run towards the station. If you even think about going for your weapon, this deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you choose to depart, Julius will accompany you. Alphinaud and Alizé will then begin moving towards the destination. Make your way to Liminal Station 4 without falling behind. If you leave Julius behind for any reason or lose sight of Alphinaud and Alizé, you may try again by returning to the starting point. Ready to make a dash for the station? We were running. That's the station, I presume. Go to. This is it, the first stop, that is. Good, it looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept to your side of the bargain, we can carry on. North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off, understood? Level 82, away forward, complete. Level 82, the last bastion. Julius knows only too well that danger lurks around every corner. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. They would attack their own countrymen? Aye, they spare their own, but slaughter the rest without hesitation. We'll try to avoid detection. The chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you are to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. I see why your comrades chose you. Phyllis, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we call them. The people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. That's so. For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. Runaway train. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. Meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before only out of desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontation. Keep following the railway. And we're going up to where the Aetheryte is. Yeah. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? As exposed to a vast quantity of primal's ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. You admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you will think twice before speaking of a cure. Soon? Guess not yet. Looks like it's underground. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I will keep mine this way. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I will be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. Could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Julius was waiting to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search for food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. It may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold. Much like Victor's spoils, it must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guest, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive over there.
These are their chosen representatives.
Very well. Let us hear what they have to say.
Yes, sir. I present to you our commander, Lord Quintus Van Kina, Legatus of the First Legion.
The first? I had no idea you had survived.
We lost our emperor, our city, more than half our troops. For my wounds, I may never take the field again. But we survived, aye. In a manner much to your liking, I dare say.
We have no intention of adding to your misfortunes, nor do we bear you any ill will.
Spare me. Though you children may speak in earnest, overtures of peace ever ring hollow in my ears. So long as man stands to profit from his neighbor's suffering, war is inevitable. Driven from our ancestral homeland into this blasted waste. Yet still you yearned to rob us of our paltry scraps. 'Twas only with Magitech that you learned to keep your distance. Though we knew it was only a matter of time before you regrouped and returned. Conquest and Empire were our only defenses. Emperors Solus and Varys understood this, and through their campaigns saw us grow and prosper. Much blood has been spilled in Garlemald's name, aye. But if it is a choice between yours and mine, then it is hardly a choice at all.
I do not deny that a great many conflicts throughout history were driven by the desire or necessity to gain by another's loss. That is not why we are here. Nor have we come to petition your aid in the war with the Telophoroi, grave though that threat may be. Our purpose is simply this. We wish to help you. Let us help you. If there is aught that can be done to ease your plight, we would be glad to do it.
Perhaps you would. But regardless of the ideals you espouse, your leaders would not send an army into Garlemald if they did not stand to benefit. If we accept their aid, they will expect their efforts to be rewarded once the Telophoroi are no longer a threat. And after compensation and concessions, the great empire would be brought to heel. Her enemies rejoice at her downfall. Our third eye, a mark of shame.
We won't stand idly by and let your people be humiliated. And we're not alone in that. We only want to make a difference, to make this world of ours better. Surely you can understand that. What I'm trying to say is, there are so many people who just don't care about making you suffer. And maybe that's almost insulting after all the suffering you feel the world has subjected your people to, but believe it or not, that's the truth. And now we're here, and all we're asking is for you to tell us what you want, what you hope for.
So much blood has been shed, so much lost. All because of this endless war. Who wouldn't want to end it? Can we not work together to face our problems as one?
Answer me this, young peacemakers. If a world without conflict is your desire, why reject the unity and prosperity of Garlemald? Is it because we do not share your faith? That we do not share your heritage? That our ideals and virtues differ? That we cherish and hold in the highest that which you do not? Disparity is the root of discord, and peace built on compromise is flawed and fleeting. Happiness for one and all is a dream, and the reality is that to the victor go the spoils. That is why we Garleans will never submit nor surrender. For freedom and for pride, we will remain true to ourselves until the bitter end. That is my hope. It seems there is nothing more to say on the matter. You will remain here while I decide what is to be done with you. Do not be alarmed. No harm will come to you if you cooperate.
We will not resist. However, as your guests, I ask that we be allowed to speak with the other members of your group.
As you wish. I had no intention of locking you up, as by dawn you would be frozen stiff and you're no good to me dead. You are free to move about the encampment, but there is one condition. Collar them.
What are these?
Incentive. You'll be watched at all times. Stray too far or act suspiciously, and we will administer a rather painful shock.
Shock collars.
Stop. Keep away from that one. The champion of Eorzea is not so easily cowed. Even if she allowed herself to be collared, the shock would be no more than an itch. No. If she refuses to obey, we will activate the twins' restraints instead.
You needn't worry about us.
We'll forget we're even wearing them soon enough.
Even now, you still... Why go to such lengths? What is it all for?
Because even the most bitter adversary may one day see reason. The coldest, blackest of nights, meager though it may be, we must share the warmth of our fire. Push it forward.
You are a curious one. A far cry from the merciless barbarian others paint you to be. You will be their warden. Take them away.
Yes, sir.
Level 82, the last bastion. Complete. Level 82, persona non grata. Duelist has his orders, unpleasant though they may be. For Lord Kentis' instructions, I am to supervise you during your time here in Tertium. Before you ask, no, I don't have a key or any other means to remove your collars, nor would I tell you if I did, and if you try anything, you'll soon wish you hadn't. So do you truly intend to speak with the others, or was that merely a ruse? We're in no hurry to disobey Lord Kentis, if that's what you mean, or perhaps you doubt the wisdom of his decision. Do as you will, but remember, I'll be watching. If I catch wind of you doing anything untoward, trying to trick our people, or into turning their coats and the like, those shock collars will be the least of your worries, understood? Though we're somewhat compromised, to put it lightly, let's not waste this opportunity. I suggest splitting up and learning what we can of their situation, and above all else, don't use magics of any sort. You, on the other hand, may go wheresoever you wish, even outside the camp. I know full well I couldn't stop you if I tried. Do not forget, if you do anything to endanger us or our interests, Alphanode and Alizé will pay the price. Aetheryte is not responding. Can't attune just yet. It's you! I served under Lord Gaius in the 14th Legion. I was there on the night the Praetorium fell. You and your adventurers, you killed them. My comrades, my friends, swept them aside in their dozens as though they were nothing to you. Maybe I am too, just another faceless enemy to be cut down, but it won't be long until our countrymen return. You get what you deserve, mark my words. Yeah. You haven't even got a name tag. It's so cold. His young soldiers on the verge of losing consciousness. Hey, so you came with Julius, didn't you? Well, whatever business brought you here, you best keep your hands off that Aetheryte. It's deactivated, but I'd rather you didn't mess about with it. There are others throughout the city, built by Garleans, 4 Garleans. Could teleport all over in the blink of an eye, provided there was a terminal nearby. These days, however, we use the Aetheryte's power to keep this place lit, though that comes at the cost of its normal function. I know who you are, the so-called champion of Eorzea. Come to gloat, have you? Wipe that smirk off your face. By the blood of our fallen compatriots, I swear I'll... Ugh. Damn, tore the sutures. All the times, the worst of the lot within striking distance, and I can't even muster the strength. If it weren't for the third bleeding us, we'd be the end of you. Virgilius' treachery nearly cost Lord Kentis his life, but we made our escape, took shelter in a mansion, tended to the wounded as we prepared to strike back, and then... Night fell and we gathered around the radio. Then the roar, the terrible roar. The capital was in chaos, but we were spared. You can call this a mercy. Mind intact, but body broken. A soldier in name alone. Cut you down where you stand if I could, murderer. You have anything good? Imperial stored here is the property of the First Legion. If you think we'd share it with the likes of you, you're very much mistaken. You're a junk monger. He won't even give me junk. Radio is the same model as the one used at Victor's spoils. Perhaps it is what saved the soldiers here from being tempered. You learn anything of note? And your findings are consistent with my own. Their plight is desperate indeed. Sick and injured are at great risk. Without warmth and proper nutrition, I fear they will soon perish. Realize there is precious little we can do for them at present, but I cannot bear to see them suffer. Please, will you help me tend to them? Who's there? My eyes, I can't see all that well. Ah, thank you. The numbness has subsided a little. But I know I won't last much longer. You should look to the others who can still fight. Give them my ration. Me going hungry means someone else lives to see another day, so be it. At least I can still serve in that way. For those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Julius could persuade him, though we'd need to persuade Julius first. Well, seen enough? Julius, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? Been scavenging provisions from the nearby houses, as most families kept some stored away in the event they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though. We had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those in poor health are only going to get worse instead of better. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. We can hold on a little longer. The situation is sure to change. Everything will change. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume. Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Talaferoi. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power. We realized Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much and instructing them to join forces with the provincial legions. Prepare for a combined assault on the Talaferoi. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. How do you intend to survive in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. Need help now. Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well, after all, many hands make light work. You lot are more trouble than you're worth. Once we are outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. Level 82, Persona non grata.